Assalamu alaikum. This is Mohammed Zia Uddin, current head of supply services for Reckitt Benckiser, Bangladesh and Sri Lanka cluster. Today I am here to share how supply chain was interrupted due to COVID-19 and how we are moving to a new normal situation and what are the opportunity that is coming for Bangladesh. I will share this thing in different phases. So the first phase is basically demand shock phase. For Bangladesh, this is basically the beginning of 2020, January and February. During that time, COVID-19 was outbreak in China. So supply from China was interrupted. As you know, majority of our raw materials, capital machineries, in fact electronics items are imported from China. So it was a real disruption, and several companies actually started to sort out what production was feasible from the current and on transit stocks. Companies also tries to get the materials from other sources immediately, but they could not because COVID-19 was outbreak to other countries also. So the next phase is basically demand shock phase, which is March and middle of April for Bangladesh. On 8th March, Bangladesh found COVID patient and immediately the pandemic crisis started. Nations started thinking institutional lockdown or public holiday, and supply chain experienced completely new demand shocks. People started actually piling up the consumable items with the fear of restrictions or fear of the movements. In some cases, people were buying more than 1 month equivalent of goods in a day. This is basically, you can consider the panic buying. They started to buy all consumable household items, antiseptic, floor cleaner, detergent, tissues, personal product, toilet tissue, hand wash, sanitizer, all the beverages. I'm just giving you an example for your reference. Toilet tissue, which is considered one of the most forecastable product since the end consumption is more or less stable, became out of stock. In fact, there was a great fear for whether Bangladesh could respond to this unprecedented demand, especially for the food supply chain. Bangladesh government successfully has managed that, as government was enough food reserve, it started to sell the food in the open market with the concessional price using the TCC to minimize the gap between the demand and supply. This type of pandemic demand shocks has some after effect also. Bangladesh is traditionally a retail dominating country. In fact, 90 to 93% of our goods traded through this channel. Retail stores faces a lot of issues as due to lockdown, some area actually the retail stores were closed. Public started buying the modern trade or e-commerce using the online platform also. There is a huge spike in the modern trade and e-commerce. People used to get the product in their houses instead of going to retail store. I'm sure many of you heard the Woolwich Effect. There's basically changing demand in a small change in demand in the consumer level may lead to large increase in the production or sourcing level. Supply chain replenishment and planning systems usually use simple moving average to calculate the requirements. With such an unprecedented demand spike, the moving averages were distorted and supply planners used to modify the supply quantities manually to adjust the planning systems. Export market. Yes, the largest exporting goods for Bangladesh is RMG. The demand of these goods decreases as buyer premises, many outlets are closed. So the buyers can sell approximately $3.8 billion equivalent of goods, which is approximately 982 million pieces of goods. The factory could not clear the consignment from the port and created huge congestions at the port. The demand in the country logistics also interrupted. To speed up the port operation, government took a couple of initiatives like waiving the port penalty, working hour extension, as well as the container penalty waiver sort of things for the certain period. How we are moving to new normal situation? In fact, we are becoming used to with these situations, and now we are moving to basically new normal situation, which is not completely normal, but here supply chain needs it to close monitor the inventory level. By this time, the production or supply increase a lot to match the unprecedented demand. For supply planners, one drawbacks to monitor the inventory very closely. When demand reaches in a certain new steady state, which is lower than the previous one, there must be cut down in the production or supply to allow the pipeline stocks to adjust this with the new normal. This type of pandemic normally creates some opportunities also. By this time, it is understood that COVID-19 will not easily go off. So, global companies are looking for cost, agility, reliability to relocate production and sourcing hub. Many countries even encouraging to relocate their sourcing hub from one country, China, to other countries as per BCP. Bangladesh could be a good choice for many of them. It has been a moment for the supply chain professional to stand up and contribute to grab the opportunity. I'm just giving few examples. I'm sure all of you will agree that Bangladesh is a famous manufacturer of garments goods. Many of our facilities could be converted to produce world-class PP. In fact, some factories already started, like Vaximco, who already made PP for the Heinz USA. So Megatronics, a famous medical equipment supplier, helping one local company, and the name is Walton, to manufacture ventilators, which is extensively used to fight against coronavirus. It could be exported also. So Bangladesh pharmaceuticals company also doing very well. They are producing nowadays Remdesivir, which is probably one of the most prominent drug developed by Gilead Sciences, which is considered the most effective drug to fight against COVID-19. Many companies in Bangladesh started to produce hygiene products like sanitizer, hand wash, disinfectant in the plant. I hope due to socio-economic, geopolitics, Bangladesh could be a good choice for many of them. Government should encourage and incentivize the companies to grab the opportunity. Thank you all for hearing me.